Man, welcome to the Pro Formula Podcast, y'all. I'm your host, Tarek Shabazz. You know this podcast is all about helping professionals get those skills that it requires to get you to that next level. You're going to want to check out today's episode because I got my big homie in here, and we're going to be talking about promotions, how you're supposed to cultivate relationships, and how you seize those opportunities. So catch us on this other side. Man, I'm here with my man, Steve. I want to just tell y'all before I introduce my man Steve Jackson to you all, I want to just tell y'all who he was. Have you ever had somebody that you call your big homie, but was actually like guiding you to do something right? This man right here was the first person that I ever made a legal $1,000 with. My first legal $1,000 came from this man. I watched him as he put together show after show, promoting concerts, club nights, opening up clubs, starting businesses. And when I was a kid, y'all, 19, 18 years old, this is who I wanted to be, y'all. I'm so excited to introduce y'all to one of my mentors, to somebody that I look up to on a level that you can never understand, my dog, Mr. Steve Jackson. What's up, Steve?
What's up, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Chilling, man.
Steve, I just turned 40 years old in September.
It's crazy.
What does that mean when you see me at 40 years old?
Man, so I'm going to start with the phone calls.
Yeah.
Because, every now and again we get in touch with each other, but it's just your appreciation for, like, our friendship, you know, and the brotherhood that we built at a early stage in your life and in my life, and I'm just proud to see where you are today, transitioning from where you were at 17, 18, to 40 now, and looking at the level of business that you do, where you at, in your professional career, and this podcast, and just forward thinking. So, proud of you, bro.
Well, I appreciate it. It means a lot. I used to, I met Steve. I want to give you all just a quick story on how I met Steve. I used to be the dude that would call people to set up appointments for a loan officer. So we were doing like refinances, home purchases, that kind of stuff back in the day. And I was the one that would get on the phone, and I was dope on the phone. I could set appointments so good. And after I would set an appointment, I would turn around and hand that paper over to the loan officer. And the loan officer would call him and close the loan and make a bunch of money on it. And he told me one time, he used to call me Teasy, he would say, Teasy, why don't you just do it yourself? Like, you should close this paper. And I remember being like, no, it's all good, fam, I got you. This is the least I can do, because he'll pick me up for work. He was teaching me the game, and I was learning real estate through him. And so he was like, bruh, do it. And so I remember the name of the first loan that I ever closed, and I made a commission of $2,500, man. And that was like $1 million to me at the time, wasn't it? Because it was like the first time that I had ever made some money that didn't require breaking the law. So I want to thank you for giving me that opportunity and helping me. Was it always your mission to like bring people along throughout the course? And then how do you choose who gets to be in your circle? Because I feel like I was like honored to be in your area.
Man, first and foremost, I'm going to just say God at the end of the day. And then secondly, I'm a team player, so I like seeing, regardless of the age, just other people, growing with you or coming up with you, because, there's no sense in, being a CEO or, being the head of something and you don't have people to enjoy it with on the same equal level, right? And you were just hungry, and interested. You paid attention, and you could tell you were thirsty for like knowledge. Like, I want to know. You always been about business, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it's just something that you latched onto, and I seen it, and I was like, all right, come on, like, let's make it do what it do.
Man, as I was coming up, Steve was the owner and proprietor of big clubs in Denver. He'd be the one opening the club would be cracking. You get to the club and it's like wrapped around you, like, oh my God. So it was almost like living a fantasy or a fairy tale, because dude was like a real in the community, was like super reputation. not only you were doing that, but I remember you would also do the shows.
Yeah.
And you would like drop me off flyers, and I get to go to the different clubs, and I took a lot of honor in that, like being on the street team and distributing flyers. And it wasn't about hitting the club for me. I just loved to serve, and I love to do that. Talk to me about some of the first shows that you put together, and some of the experiences that you've had over the years, and some of your promotional journeys.
Man, first shows. Ooh-wee.
It's taking him back right now. He's going back in time right now.
So I'm going back to 96. I can remember like Kid Capri, Foxy Brown. Man, got so many shows.
What was it about those shows that you remember the most?
Just the impact, like when we, well, what's funny is, so ever since that first time we brought Kid Capri out, me and him been friends ever since, so we established a friendship outside of that, one little thing that we did or whatever, which we did more, but it was just the impact, like seeing someone DJ on his level and just command an entire crowd, and the vibe was there. I always loved selling, vibes. I wanted people to have a good time. That was my whole mission. Like,
that's right.
I never chased a dollar because I was like, if you provide a good product, the money's coming. Bottom line, right? So I always worried about the product, which at that time were the artists. We bring in the hottest artists, the Foxy Browns, Case, 112, so many artists. And I was lucky enough to work with a group of different, what I would call them like, trendsetters, guys that thought bigger than, the city and, just high level thinking or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it ain't just me, but just being around a few different people, that I worked with back in the day, and, I'm just blessed to be able to be around that as well.
I think this term, like we use it in our community all the time, OG, where it's really a gang term that's saying that you're an original gangster, but we use that in all kind of contexts, and that's really a term of endearment that we give to somebody who's earned their stripes and who's put in the work. And what does it feel like for you these days, like to really be the OG of the promotional scene in Denver, of the hip hop scene, being a pioneer in that? What does that mean to you as you look back? Because now, if I was to say Chocolate City out here at Club Soul, you'd have to be our age in order to remember that. And so some of the young people may not understand that. Right. What does it mean to be an OG, and how do you keep yourself relevant today?
So OG to me is just like, being able to pass the fruits of your labor down to the next person, right? Yeah. And I think that's what makes you go like this. Like if you start recognizing other young talent, promoters, people want to do music, own businesses, and if they seeking the knowledge and you've already been down that path and you can guide them to be better than what you did, then I would consider that being like that's what makes you an OG of the game. Is
when you can direct them to do better, give them more tools so that they can enhance it and take it to the next level.
And not make the same mistakes you did. Just give them all the knowledge. I think information is the biggest tool we had to give to, people after us. And sometimes people before us that, don't know. You know what I mean?
Why are people sometimes reluctant to give that knowledge or give that information? Like, why is it something that we almost want to hold tight to our vest instead of actually like just opening it up and letting it out?
Yeah, just being afraid of someone else doing better than you. And at the end of the day, it's just like there's, when because I still keep my ear to the street and I watch, Squizzy Taylor, a few different DJs and club things that they got going on, and I sit back and I'm like, hey, that's funny, because I'm like, well, I did that, but it's dope to see them do it, and I like seeing some of these DJs on radio now, and just growing bigger than what it was when I would say I was really actively involved in, promotion.
Do they still reach out and try to get advice, or are you still connected in that regard, or are you far removed where you're not necessarily in the day-to-day kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm not in the day-to-day. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm kind of far removed from it. Still had that little.
Do you miss it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes I get that itch to do a show here and there. I'm just not pressed to, do it. But
Would you do one today
Absolutely.
if you could get it right?
absolutely.
Yeah, that takes me to like the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about. Like, if you're a promoter out here and you have the desire, you're trying to build a brand, like tune in right now, because this part is where we're gonna start talking a little bit about what that would look like. But I've seen you do some efforts that were just crazy. And I remember one time we put on the show, it wasn't cracking.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in
happens.
the car in the Acura, kind of just like, are they going to show up? And we didn't get that many people to show up that day.
Yeah.
But we still pressed on. Like, one, how do you identify which one's going to be a good show? And then when you don't have that success that you were hoping to have, how do you keep yourself going and make it feel like it's not me? It just wasn't a good show. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, love is the love for it. So the love for it keeps you moving in anything, right? So I always tell people at the end of the day, it's like, if it doesn't work out how you planned it, pivot.
Okay.
But you can still go after it. Several ways to skin a cat, right? You might have an idea about traveling this road and, this is gonna happen A, B, C, and D. Well, maybe B and C's missing, and you like, damn, I thought this was gonna go like this, but it didn't. Well, you still can get all the way, to Z. It's just that you have to reroute, pivot, do some things a little different, fine tune some stuff or whatever the case, and success is down the road.
But how do you, like, I love that on the surface it sounds really good, but like practically, how do you not let that impact your self-esteem and your confidence and your belief in yourself to be able to do that when you've done that? Because we may have people that are watching this show that's like, man, I tried that, or I tried to start my own company, or I tried to get this going and it didn't work, and then they fell apart because they took that like, I suck. Like, how did you have that kind of mindset that didn't allow you to ever get low like that?
Yeah.
Or did you get low like that?
I mean, sometimes you take hits and you like, damn,
Is it the finances or is it the reputational hit? Which one hurt more?
Financial.
Okay.
Yeah, the reputation is like, it's wins and losses, right? So even in like sports, if you ever play sports, you're gonna win some games, you're gonna lose some games, right?
Yeah.
But if you're determined, to be that guard for your team or the center or whoever you are, you go out and just perform to the highest level that you can.
Yeah.
Each game, and it's the same thing with, promotion. You take a hit and it's like, okay, I can honestly say we took some hits before because we maybe gambled and really knew that we was gonna take a hit, but thought, we can hang with this.
So ego took you to like, we're going to press it a little bit harder.
Exactly.
You knew it wasn't going to work out at
like,
the end of the day.
Yeah, I can remember this to a T. Like, there was a New Edition concert with Blackstreet.
Yeah.
So
At the Coliseum?
I can't remember where it was. Might have been McNichols or something.
Not Coliseum. You was at the Performing Arts Theater, I think.
Maybe then.
Okay.
Yeah, this was, back in the 90s, basically. And some other cats had New Edition after party. And we booked Blackstreet. And, New Edition, Blackstreet, you know what I mean? And literally, New Edition's a phenom, you know what I mean? So with them being a phenom, man, we just got our butt kicked. But, just that ego took over and we're like, yeah, we're going to get that and compete. And we got our butts kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think, sometimes you got to be able to evaluate. And one thing I remember when I was studying under you, I feel like I'm one of your studies. As we've been catching up, preparing for the show, I've been reminding you of things that you used to do that you like, damn, I didn't even know that you was watching this. But you used to have this spreadsheet, man, that you used to be putting together that would have your expenses, and it was your whole strategy, and it almost was like a go, no-go type of things. And you'd be daily, trying to figure out how you was going to get that thing to work. Tell us a little bit about that analysis tool, what was involved in that, what that process looks like, because you were doing the work to figure out and to determine whether or not this was actually going to be something that you should be doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, the first things first, you want to bring out the hottest artist or comic or whatever that is, right? And then it's like, all right, now we got to do checks and balances. How much does this cost? Venue, all your due diligence needs to be hammered out. Yeah, itemized. And then that way, your bottom line to tell you whether it's a stronger investment to win because of the numbers. And then you kind of got the feel for the artist. We kind of, can feel who's popping out here and, who's doing what. So that's a given. But, all the itemized stuff will kind of tell you, maybe we better not do this one, or it's real tight, or now we got room for error, or we gonna make this easy, and that's really all it is, just due diligence. And I think that's what a lot of people, I see different shows and I'm like, and they don't do well, but I don't think people sit down and just really hammer out, line by line.
It's almost like you were putting together a worst case scenario.
Yes.
If I only sold this amount of tickets, or I think that was even how you had it broken down. If I sold 100 tickets, 500 tickets, 1,000 tickets, and then you'd have it.
What does that look like?
Because the artist cost was fixed.
Exactly.
Your venue cost was fixed. So those were some of those fixed costs. And then there was times that it's like, hey man, we might need to use our own cars to go pick the artist up, or try to figure out how you can save some money. So I think ego plays a part in it. Or is there a point where we get overconfident and we're not listening to what the market is telling us?
Yeah,
and have you had an experience where you other than, I know you said the New Edition was one that you took a L on, but is there something that you I looked at my numbers told me that this wasn't going to be a good play, it was going to be tight, I tried it anyway and I lost, or maybe I looked at my numbers, it wasn't supposed to work and I end up hitting big?
Yeah, so, I feel like the group that, I was with back here with this specific one was Jay-Z. We brought Jay-Z out here, and we were up on his music. Everybody else wasn't up on his music.
Got it.
And Colorado, Denver, whatever's a lot of West Coast influence. So, and a lot of people didn't know. So the crowd was bare minimum. You know what I mean? But
this is Jay-Z we talking about in the building.
First album.
You knew he was going to be hot. You knew you was a 50. You knew about 50 before 50 was hot.
Rick Ross.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah. And so Jay-Z was one of them ones. I'm like, oh yeah, this dude's fire. But that was a lesson learned. Just because I think doesn't mean everybody knows.
What should they be looking for to determine? Is it streams? Is it downloads? Is it what's their tour looking like? What are some things people should be looking for to determine whether or not somebody's hot? Because like you said, you may not even like the artist, but they're hot, and you don't do it just because you don't like them. But how do you take yourself out of it and just really focus in on what the numbers are saying?
Yeah, then we'll probably be depending on radio a lot to hear who's playing around in your city and how they're promoting that artist. Because, Jay-Z wasn't getting any tick out here like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not until maybe Hard Knock Life or something like that, but not all his early stuff. Can't Knock the Hustle. They wasn't playing none of that stuff on the radio, but these are, big hits of his.
Yeah, these are big songs.
Yeah. And so, but today I would say, it's all about social media, and how artists are involved in social media and what type of clientele they have and followers and stuff like that would kind of, it's a lot easier to me today than it was yesterday, because now you have social media. Now, the segue to these artists are they're right there.
You're absolutely right. Social media is huge, and you were in the social media phase, but not to the point of where it is today. How would you have used social media back in your day, and what do you encourage people to do on their social media these days, today?
Man, how would I? Well, I did use it when we had Twisted Olive. I was ahead of, well, not really ahead, but I just took on the promotion side as far as, our social media and what people seen and what we were, having for dinner that night, specials, bands, whatever we had going on. So I used that, and my whole thing with that is I just told myself I'm gonna take 2 or 3 hours out the day and just, direct all my energy towards, Facebook and Instagram for Twisted Olive and stuff like that. And whatever else we were using, I can't remember, but.
So 2 hours, you're just saying I'm devoting that time
3 hours
to making sure that I'm putting that in there.
Every day.
I don't think enough people spend enough time, doing the research and all of that. And even myself, man, I get burned out on social media with like trying to stay up on producing new content and posting it and responding to people on there. But I'm also realizing that real engagement is how you build your followership.
Absolutely.
So how do you balance that? Like, I don't want to be on too much, but I also want to be relevant while I'm on.
I think it's just really consistency. I don't think there's a such thing as, unless you're just putting up garbage that nobody wants to.
Yeah.
But if you have something tangible that people like, oh, I'll go check that out, or that band, or, this meal, or whatever artist it is, comedy, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're posting something tangible and you're consistent with it, then people appreciate it. But I think when, the overkill is just posting about stuff where it's like,
what's the value in that?
Where's the value? You still have to think about what am I putting out there? Like in just regular social media that has nothing to do with business. Sometimes, you see posting, you like, I don't understand why that's
it's not relating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our within our organization, our core values are, we call it C to the third power: character, courage, and consistency.
Yeah.
And we think you need to have that in order to be successful. Of those three, character, courage, consistency, which one do you think is most important and why?
I think character.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, who you are is what, pushes you forward. People mess with you just because they know you're a good dude.
Yeah.
And then
or they won't mess with you because they don't.
Or they won't, right? But I always tell people, like, you may not like what I say, and you might not like how I did something, but my intent is always good.
Yeah.
I don't intend to ever, intentionally like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm getting over on him or whatever the case. Yeah. Don't even cross my mind, you know what I mean? So I feel like that alone, character, when you have good character, good intent, that's what, skyrockets you into positions. I mean, look at you, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And I think for myself, there's things that I wish I could do better, about myself. But I think that's when you got to have some courage, man. I think it takes a lot of courage. I love character. I think courage is such a big one too, because I think sometimes we get arrested in analysis. We're afraid of what somebody's going to say. Like when I was kicking off the podcast, I was going live for 30 days.
Yeah.
And
I was watching.
Going live, that was terrifying. Like, I had never gone live before. And putting the camera in front of my face, and one of my mentors, Brother Jeff, said, T, you got to just start asking some questions, man. You got to start talking to them. And so I think it took a lot of courage. And then when I watched my first time seeing myself on air and being like, why did I say that? Why didn't I ask it this way?
Right.
I think that courage part. But then you had just said it, which is what prompted me is consistency is key.
Absolutely.
Speak on the importance of sticking with it and not putting it down after you started it, and you may need to pivot, but still stay on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's kind of like that. You bump your head, and. Why did I bump my head?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what I could have did different, and you have to learn from your mistakes, you know what I mean? And so the next time you don't make that same mistake, and that's how we always continue. Even at my age today, I'm always striving to get better.
Yeah.
And that comes with just being humble. Like you can't just think you
all that.
You all that, and that's where you get lost in the sauce. But, being humble and just, working hard to get better, that's the name of the game. And you're going to get better because you're going to be looking to keep going this way.
Yeah.
Instead of being comfortable, like, I'm
there. I've arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta fight that. I want to segue into this segment that I call Pro Tips. And this segment is all about providing professionals with tangible tips, things that they can do today, and it could cross multiple industries. It could work for somebody who's in a promotional business, somebody who's doing loans, somebody who's starting a business, somebody who's a manager. Like, so that's what this segment's all about. So you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
All right. So my question for you is, what advice would you have for somebody who's trying to get into the promotional game? Like, what is the first thing that they should be doing, or some of the first things that they should be doing as they're trying to establish themselves in this field?
First things first, and I say this with any business, is get your business together. You know, register with whatever state you're in, and get yourself a bank account somewhere to put the money, and just get all of your due diligence done with your formation of your company, whatever that is, LLC, corporation, whatever you're doing. That would be the number one thing first. And then, you have to answer the questions, why do you want to do this? Because if it, of course everybody wants to make money, but if it's just money, then that's not a great reason to.
What are some reasons that people should be looking to start a business?
You have to figure out what you love, like things that you're interested in, what you will absolutely take a chance rolling the dice at. Like, what if I lose?
Yeah.
Then how do I feel after that? Like, anything I've ever done, promotional wise or just anything, I'm like, I never felt like I took a L to the fact, like, I quit. It's just like, some things work out, some things don't, but, it doesn't stop me from continue to going. Only thing that sways me from this is some new idea or some new situation comes, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm channeling over here.
I'm gonna take that. So first thing, y'all, I hope y'all caught that formation. Yeah, get the formation of your organization correct. Go to your Secretary of State, register your company, get that EIN number. Go get your bank account, get that bank account set up, and then. Now let's start talking about the marketing strategy, because Steve, one of the things that you do so well is you package things up. I've seen you get sponsors for shows. I've seen you have sponsors for artists. I've seen you have a way of like marketing and putting that together. Give some practical tips on what people can do when they're trying to go out there and obtain sponsorships, or when they're out there trying to market their business. What are some things that they should or could be doing?
Number one thing, you got to be a relationship builder. And which goes back to that character thing that we was talking about. That's why it's so important about, the way you speak to people. You have to be conscious of things, right? So I've had, I'm not gonna call them partners. I'll say I had did some partnerships with some people, and we in rooms, but people don't know how to talk on a corporate level, or you know what I mean? And we, even though we all come from a hood or that space, and we know the streets and different stuff like that, but you've been able to be real articulate with your words. And that's important. And so, like I said, that character thing is huge in that space. Like, obtaining those relationships and just, going after exactly what you want and being able to articulate what you want, and for it to make sense on both ends of the coin.
This relationship piece is so important, and I'm trying to frame a way to, like, I don't know what it was when I was a kid that said, I feel like I was very open with, like, can you mentor me? Can you teach me?
Yeah, you was.
Can you guide me? I want to learn from you. Like, I used to ask you all the time, like, teach me that. I want to learn that. Would you mind giving me that? Where does that come from? And I would ask this dude hundreds of questions. I would call him every single day. I still know his number by heart. I would call him every day. I would talk to him until he told me, all right, TZ, I got to let you go.
You crazy.
So how important is mentorship? And getting somebody on that can help you take yourself to the next level? And then how does somebody go about getting a mentor?
I've always been I have mentors. Right now to this day, I got some of my good partners are, they in their 70s.
Nice.
But I get so much game from them. You know, I've always been a sponge for, you know, people that have been where I'm headed, put it that way.
Yeah.
And I've been a sponge for that. And, you know, I think, you know, it's the same thing for you, because that's how we pass knowledge on. That's how we pass on information, you know. You know, even when it comes to ownerships, homes, or whatever that is, you know, information is everything, and it just doesn't hurt to pass that on to the next person. You know, if you already won and right here, let's say it's buying a home, why won't I show the next man how to, or woman, how to purchase a home? I did it. Let me show you how you do it.
Yeah.
You know.
I think, you know, for me, one of the things that I love to do, man, and it was what you alluded to earlier, I have Tuesday mornings is typically my mornings that I reach out to my mentors. I've got multiple, and I will just call them and just say, hey, man, I was just wanting to think about you, to let you know I was thinking about you, and I appreciate everything that you've done. And then I get specific. Because I think, y'all, you got to listen. You got to be specific when you're talking to people so that they know when you say, I appreciate you. Well, what did you appreciate? I appreciated that you showed me how to make my first $1,000. Yeah. That you would pick me up and drop me off, and you never judged me that I didn't have a car. You know, when I was 18, you was trying to help me get that car. And so, y'all, I would pick up the phone and I would call these dudes, and it's crazy. They'll cry. You know what I'm saying? Be like, T, I appreciate that or whatever, man, but you got to show appreciation. What are some other things people can do to build relationships? Like, let's say that it's not with the mentor, but it's in a professional space. You built a relationship with Kid Capri. How the hell did you do that?
Man, you know me. I've always felt like I could just go in any room and I'm a
coolest dude you ever. Yeah, I promise, just cool.
Gifts. So we'll talk about gifts.
Let's talk about
I know that's one of my gifts is, you know, being able to network. You know, and I ain't afraid. You can't be afraid to meet people. You know, a lot of we come from a you know, it starts at home and in our neighborhoods where we got this, right, and we carry that. You know, even in the business when it's not needed, right? You can still have a shield up if you want a little bit, but you know, you gotta be able to go and work rooms, you know, and you know, you want to be in this space and you see how that's moving, you gotta be able to move like that, right? You can't go in the, you know, water with sharks and.
How does somebody get out of their network though, Steve? Like, all I know is people that's in the neighborhood. All I know is people that's in this healthcare industry. All I know is people that's in this this other industry, and I'm trying to pivot or I'm trying to develop and grow my network. Like, how do people grow their professional networks? What are things that they can do practically?
Literally just being out, like meeting people, talking about your business, you know. Casual conversation. Yeah. That's how friendships develop, business relationships develop. You know, you could go play a game of golf and meet some guy you ain't never even seen in your life, and that turns into, well, damn, I didn't know you did this for a living, and now you start seeing, hey, me and him can line up right here, or me and her can line up over here, and it makes sense between y'all two, and then look, something happens. You know what I mean? So
I think one of the things about relationship building, I agree with all of that. I think you got to stop looking at what can I get from this person, and you got to start looking at how can I add to this relationship. Mm-hmm. I think that there's so many times that all we're trying to focus on what's in it for me, that we lose that sight on where you are. So I remember I was trying to be on Steve's team. I never got paid for delivering flyers. Did I? I never asked. I never wanted to. I would say, bro, facts. I don't even want to get paid. I'll just do this because I want to see this pop. Give me some tickets to the show. Let me get backstage with y'all. You like, T, that ain't nothing. Like, that's all you want? Like, yeah, you got that. I didn't want no money. I wanted to just get the knowledge. So I think sometimes when you're trying to cultivate and build a relationship with somebody, stop thinking about what can they give you. You start thinking about what can I give them.
Absolutely.
How can I create value in this relationship so that he wants to answer the phone when I call? Mm-hmm. I think sometimes we try to be transactional, or we just try to suck resources without making it a reciprocal thing. Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it has to be reciprocated.
Yeah, it's got to be something that's reciprocal.
That was that piece I said earlier. Like, it needs to make sense on both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been on the owner side of, you know, a club and a promoter coming in and I want to do a night here and they want us to give the bar away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, well, we can do some drink specials.
Yeah.
I'm not giving my bar away. And then you're mad because I won't just, give all of this away. But you don't know the...
It's a business behind that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I need to get some money off of this as well. And I think, stop trying to hit a home run on every play, y'all.
Exactly.
Like, I used to coach, come on, y'all, ain't nothing wrong with getting a first down. Y'all want to score a touchdown every time you get the ball.
Yeah.
That's not how life really works. And so sometimes you're going to get out there and you're going to put together a deal that is absolutely going to benefit the other person.
Yeah. Because I'd rather...
But I'd rather cultivate a relationship and build on something than have nothing that I'm ever going to be building from.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Check this out, man. We're going to take a quick break. You guys make sure that you stay with us. We'll finish up this pro tip segment on the other side. Awesome. Man, you've been giving some great insight and some really valuable keys. Is there any other tips or any other advice that you would have for somebody that's trying to build their brand or build themselves in a marketing or promotional capacity? Yeah,
I would just, say work hard at it. Some things pop like this. Some things take time, but it's timing.
Yeah.
And then the other big thing is care about your product. I'm a fan of some of these clothing brands I see around here, and I'm like, yeah, it's dope. And then I seen a few where I'm like, well, they want you to buy this T-shirt, and it's just like, well, the product don't support.
Yeah.
Just because you put a print on the front, I'm like,
that ain't enough.
It ain't enough.
Quality ain't there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to think it out. Like, what does this cotton feel like? We buy all of this stuff because of how it feels.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people don't put enough thought into their product, or if it's food. When we had Twisted Olive, I used to help, although I'm one of the owners, I used to help the women and men, our servers basically, serve tables, because it was about the success of the business, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have the thinking in my head like, oh, I'm one of the owners, I can't do it, I hired you to do that. If she got 8 plates and she can't carry all 8.
I got you.
I got 4 of them. You got 4? And it's just about the customer's experience, right? We got all those plates to the table, all 8. Food is piping hot and everybody's good. And a lot of times I found out people want to know the owner and see them in action.
Sometimes you coming out there and being like, and then they like, oh, that's the owner right there.
Exactly.
He's the one that brought my food out.
So like you said, now that being personable with your clientele, that develops. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So now you got regulars come in and now, hey, Steve, see, or whoever, Tarek, conversations, and then they bring in friends and,
I get it.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears real quick, and I want to just talk about a couple things that I was right about, that you said I was wrong about. Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, yeah. I am a huge Nipsey Hussle fan, y'all. That is my dude. I love his music. I love more than his music. I love his message and what he stood for. And I just, asked him to rest in power, man, and asked God to just give forgiveness and bless that man, because I think what he was doing for our community was so important.
Yeah.
You changed your tune on Nip.
Absolutely.
You didn't start off this hustle, man. How has that changed? What was it about Nip that changed?
Surface thinking.
Okay.
And just,
You saw the gangbanger. You saw the
gangbanger.
Yeah, that's all you saw.
To be honest. Until I started listening, and digging into his lyrics, and I'm like, damn, inspiration.
Yeah.
You start hearing inspiration, and that's what got me to like, oh yeah, he was right about this.
He had this bar on this song, man. He said, I wake up to the state of mind like sky's the limit. He said, you see, I'm focused on the million cash. See, that's the vision. It's like I'm speeding and I'm fitting to crash. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I took away from there was he woke up, he had this mindset that the sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
Then he said, you see, I'm focused on a million cash. Now he set his goal in place. He said, now my goal is $1 million.
Right.
And then he said, it's like I'm speeding and I'm fitting to crash. Yeah, that's the feeling.
Yeah, my environment.
So whenever I think about that, I'm asking myself, am I going hard enough where I feel like I'm speeding? I'm going so hard right now that I could crash at any moment. You know what I mean? And so when I listen to his music and when I listen to what he was really trying to say to us, he was letting us know, wake up and think that you can do anything. Set some goals for yourself and then go after it full speed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And just the whole idea of this being a marathon and not being a sprint, I thought was so fascinating. You've become a fan of his after his passing, and I had a right
Before.
were you rocking with him before?
Yeah, like right before though.
Okay.
Right, a little bit before it, I was like, yeah, okay. And I actually went to LA the month before.
Did you?
That happened.
Did you go to the store?
Went to the store. The only time I swear he wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Cowboy, everybody, there, spent some money in there because.
Yeah.
It was the feeling he instilled. Like you wanted to go and pay for that because
it's funny that he created tourism in the hood.
Absolutely.
People were going from out of state all over the country to go to that neighborhood, to go into that store, and just the reverse gentrification where he was bringing more value to his community by being there, I thought was incredible. What was it like when you were at the store with him? Or not with him, but at the store?
The possibility,
Yeah.
just being able to like be planted in there and like, man, like the physical, these shirts, everything that he has in there.
Codes on there, you can scan
codes
them.
on there.
different-
That was the other thing I was impressed with, the technology piece. I was like, man, this dude is like, he's
on a whole nother level. He's
a whole
thinking.
nother level. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you can actually scan something and it'll take you to his, some new project that's getting ready to come out or something. I was like, man, that's crazy, but Nip was my biggest thing about him is his forward thinking. Like I love the fact when you hear his music today, how still it's
relevant.
Yeah. And really past relevant because he's saying some stuff that I'm like, man, yeah, he's right.
Yeah, we still ain't ready for that piece of it yet.
When it comes to investing and money moving, that kind of stuff.
How you've been in the music scene as a manager, promoter, all of that. Like, what's the funnest part of the music industry, or what did you like most about being in the music industry?
I'm a background kind of person, so I just like the business, contracts. I love being in the studio. Of course,
He's a musician in his heart, man. He plays. You can see him playing on his little. Wang. He's doing that all day long.
Yeah, so
we spent many a days in the studio.
Many a days, and so I love being in the studio. Just the structure of the business, and again, that's one of those things you like. I like sitting back and watching somebody else get theirs.
Yeah.
You want to rap and it comes to the forefront or sing or that comes to the forefront, that's gratification right there. So
love it.
Yeah.
This last segment, I call it Settle the Score. And what we really do on this segment is we try to identify the habits of highly successful professionals. And so we do that in a this or that kind of a format. You down to go there with me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Get you some water first. All right, so we're going to settle the score. Would you rather be the mentor or the mentee?
That's a good one. Probably the mentor.
Mentor.
Yeah. Leadership lives in me.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the mentor.
Which network do you value most, your personal or your professional network?
Yeah, it's personal, like family and stuff like that.
Family, friends.
Yeah, family's at the top of that,
Personal network for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you, do you get recharged and are you charged by being alone or by being in the groups, being around others?
A little bit of both, but I probably, sometimes I go driving. And that's where I get charged the most. Like if it's...
He's an introvert. Don't even let him play this game with y'all. This dude will be by himself, like he said, and just zone out. He like being around people too, but I think you telling the
I
truth
could be
on that
with you
one.
on that,
Yeah,
huh?
I think you really are like, when you by yourself, that's when you really in your bag.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. With
Ultimately,
you.
yeah.
But you
for
feel
sure.
good in the group.
Oh yeah.
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 Do you attribute your success to the higher power or to your personal determination?
Yeah, the higher power all day.
Higher power, right? That ain't even no question.
Ain't even a
That ain't
question.
even close.
Yeah.
The other ones he had to think about, y'all. He was like,
Yeah.
but that one that just
Ain't
came
no
out.
doubt.
Are you an early riser or are you a late nighter?
Yeah, both.
I said, yeah, but both.
Both, yeah. I mean, I get up early, and then I'm more of a homebody today.
So you're an early riser now?
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm an early
I
riser
catch you
now.
in bed about 10.
Yeah.
You in bed at 10 now?
Yeah. I'm
Old
got
Steve
time.
didn't used to sleep, y'all. Steve
Exactly.
used to go to sleep at 2 o'clock. Steve would be up at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
He did not
And
sleep.
right back at it,
and
yeah.
that was like an everyday thing for him. That wasn't just on the weekend. Like he was legitimately in bed at up at 2 o'clock, and he'd be right back up, hitting me like, "Teasy, we finna get to it, baby." And it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 in the morning,
I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
All right. Do you write down your goals or do you just go with the flow?
I write them down.
You putting them on paper?
Now, it's in your phone.
You putting it in the phone.
Yep.
Okay. So do you prefer to work independently or as a part of a group or a team?
I love the team effort.
Yeah.
I think another one of my gifts, to be honest, is putting the pieces together. I'm good. I'm good at seeing talent.
Yeah.
And again, so when we had Twisted Olive, there was someone that wanted. She was a server, and I remember she wanted to bartend, but she had the personality and the go get in her. So I gave her the opportunity to, and man, she turned out to be like
The
I'm just
bartender.
Like, damn.
Yeah. Nice.
But you have to be able to see. Talent. I'm a delegator kind of person. Like I don't mind. Okay, I know Teasy can handle this, and she can handle that, and then okay, that's you. Boom. Okay, and this is how this is going to work.
You a strategist, bro.
Absolutely.
You an absolute strategist and a planner and a map it out and a create the vision that everybody else is like, okay, I can see it happening.
Yeah, I've been blessed with that.
Now check this one out. Do you prefer to get a great deal or give a great deal?
Man, probably give a great deal.
If you give a great deal, you fired up about that.
Yeah, I'm fired up about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while spending time with the family, is your phone off or is it on?
My phone's always on.
24/7, you can catch
24/7.
Steve on his phone. That thing is not off ever.
Yeah, it's
I don't think.
nonstop. It's nonstop.
Is your knowledge, is that like natural talent or is that like study and research that got you to where you are?
A lot of God-given and some studying.
What would you say is more? Is it natural or more study?
More natural, because I can remember as a kid and some of my childhood friends, how you like, what you gonna be when you grow up,
Yeah.
And I had two things, because I played sports, I was
He was a hooper.
Yeah, pretty good in basketball, so I was like, I'm either going to the NBA, right? And then the other thing was owning restaurants, business.
Mm-hmm.
Business always just been I don't know.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to just ask, like, if you could give some advice just to somebody who's in this professional space, they're trying to get out the door, what would be like your walk away advice or words of wisdom that you provide to them?
Oh man, just to stay planted in what they believe in. Believe in yourself, believe in your product or whatever that is, and like you said, go full steam at it. Like that, it's simple. You don't have to complicate it, but you have to believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And care about your product. If you're serving food, care about what you're giving to people. Make sure, the bad information travels the fastest, right? So you only got one time, to make, first impression. Like, so it's like, you serve a bad plate and
everybody gonna hear about it.
And now, right? So care about the steps, care about the preparation, from, whatever you buying at wherever, they're delivering food-wise, whatever you serving, how you prepare it, season it, all, care about all that, right?
Yeah.
Promotions, care about how your flyer looks, care about, the quality of your show. What is it saying to the people? Care about, is this misspelled on there? We used to,
Detail, boy. This dude right
you
here
have
is
to
so
be
detailed.
detailed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. If doors open at 8 in your flyer, I need you to change that. If the lettering doesn't look right, like everything needs to feel good. You know what I'm saying? That T-shirt that you wearing, like it has to look and feel right.
Check me out, y'all. That's the Pro Formula Tee, man. Y'all
Yeah,
can go get this.
absolutely.
Y'all can go get this Pro Tee, man, at theproformula.com, y'all. We got that rocking and rolling. You like the tee?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, he think the tee is fly.
I'm expecting one.
Yeah, I try to give him one, but I guess I gotta do a little something different to get him one.
Give me the schmeedy.
Steve, I want to just tell you, man, as we wrap, that I know I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you. I appreciate you seeing something in me all those years ago when you invested in nurturing that. And I hope that I've done what I'm supposed to do with all that you did for me, because I know that I wouldn't be in this place if it wasn't for you, man. So I just want to tell you, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
And, the next generation, let's pay it forward. It's my job to make sure that I get me a little mentee that I can find that's going to have somebody in y'all. When you're looking for somebody to mentor, it's somebody that's on the brink of it. They want to get it. One of the attributes that he said I had was, he said, T, you was hungry. I was hungry. I didn't mind doing the work. The work part of it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And so find somebody out there, man, that you can wrap your arm around, give them some good guidance, and you never know, that may turn around and be somebody like me, man. So I appreciate you. I love you, Steve. Thank you so much, man. That wraps this episode of the Pro Formula Podcast. I'm your host, Tariq Shabazz. Check us out, y'all, Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be putting out good content like this weekly, man. So I'll see y'all later. Salute. Peace.
Hi, I'm Larry Davis, hence the LD in Drunkware by LD. You can find me on all my social media pages, all one word, Drunkware by LD. I also have a website, drunkwarebyld.com.